This episode is brought to you in association with Timeform, your trusted source for racing data and analysis. By Total Performance Data, the world leader in thoroughbred performance technology, and by FitzDares. Okay, here we go then. Thanks so much for tuning in once again. This is the Nick Luck Daily Podcast coming to you live from York from the York Ebor Festival 2025. It is Thursday the 21st of August and it is Yorkshire Oaks Day, of course. It is cool again, but possibly not quite as bracing as it was yesterday. A little overcast, forecast to stay dry, and aren't I lucky? Aren't you lucky as well? Particularly if you're watching on YouTube, because we've got Ollie Bell. I have to make sure that when we do these filmed podcasts, Ollie, that I have to have someone who looks the part.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. You've really thrown me there, but thank you.
No, it's a great pleasure. And of course, if anyone hasn't seen your Instagram feed over the last few days, there's Ollie, today, one of the big races today is the Harry's $500,000, the great sales race.
Yeah.
Ollie was doing some filming on behalf of Goffs last week at Clive Cox's stable, and there's a lovely picture of you and the great John Frankham up on the gallops. And you're looking quite Hollywood, I've got to say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've got a few comments about that, notably from my friends taking the mickey out of me. But as you know...
Have you sewn those buttons back on your shirt now? Because they seem to be missing a few.
Well, the reason I posted that photo is because growing up watching Channel 4 racing, John Frankham was the one that I admired the most. So he was the one
me too.
So that's why I posted it, to be with a broadcasting legend like Frank.
How is Frank's?
He's on good form, very good form. Yeah, everyone
that Ollie Bell down here the other day. Good golfer. Don't know much about racing.
That was about right, I think.
Good. So that was fun, was it?
It was fun, yeah. And actually, ahead of today, it's kind of pertinent that you referenced that obviously Clive going for his third win in that very valuable race that Goffs put on. So, and I think his horse has got a chance later. Song of the Clyde.
Excellent. Well, that's one tip out of the way. I need to talk to Phil Atkinson, who's the head of ops here at York, because Phil's, as you can imagine, an extremely busy man, and is going to spare us just a little bit of time. So, Phil, for those who don't know, just explain exactly the nature of your role here.
Well, head of operations covers a wide range of topics. So everything from security, traffic management, making sure that we give everybody a nice warm Yorkshire welcome, booking the bands that we have, so the brass bands and the monotones who play on the stage down there, and a whole range of other tasks really. But it's a very, very wide brief.
But really, it's up to you, I suppose, to sort of set the tone. I always think when you walk into a racecourse, it's about how you feel when you walk in, and I've always walked through the gate here at York and suddenly there's a little bit of a spring in your step. How important is that to you?
It's massive, isn't it? And we booked specifically for this event, for the Ebor Festival, we have a Yorkshire brass band each day, and that sets the tone. I think as people come through the Marble entrance or the Princess Mary gates, they have that warmth of the welcome which makes them feel nice inside, and they feel good about being at York. But also we do a lot of work with the staff, so our race day staff, of which there are 200 on duty today, all get individual training, and it's all about that warm Yorkshire welcome that we really do well at York.
And of course, you've got a very special visit today.
We have.
Her Majesty the Queen will be here. She's patron here at York, isn't she?
She is our royal patron. She visited last year for the first time in an official capacity. She's here today in an official capacity again today. We're looking very much forward to welcoming her. It does create quite a lot of work for me.
I can imagine. I can imagine it does.
Yeah. So we have to work with the police and the security forces to make sure that Her Majesty is kept safe and that any threats are identified and dealt with. Fortunately today it's been fairly straightforward, and she'll be arriving at lunchtime, and we'll look forward to seeing her.
And to what extent is it a trick to make sure that side of things is taken care of in the way that it's supposed to under royal protocols and security protocols, but also to make everyone feel like nothing's happening?
The balance is absolutely crucial, isn't it? And in an ideal world today, nobody will see the police officers that will.
You don't want JD Vance's motorcade.
No,
that's not the look you're after.
So it's discreet security and discreet other measures that we put in place to make sure, like the search protocol which is taking place right now. The members of the public would have no idea about that, but it takes place behind the scenes and it's very effective.
And how many would you expect today?
Crowd-wise, I think we're around about the 18,000 mark, which is roughly comparable to what we had last year, I think. But the weather's looking quite fair. The news is out there about Her Majesty's visit, so maybe we'll get a few people extra.
I hope so. Thanks so much for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Phil Atkinson, who's the head of ops here.
Thank you.
At York. Ollie is awaiting us. And of course, you interviewed Her Majesty the Queen at Ascot earlier in the year, and you are someone who's got quite an association with her through your work with the Ebony Horse Club.
Absolutely, yeah. I got to know her through Ebony when the late Queen Elizabeth II was around, and knew that she had a real affiliation with horses and horse racing. But I think since the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and Her Majesty the Queen has taken on her new role, I think it's very obvious for others to see now how much she enjoys this sport. The fact she's coming here to see two of her runners obviously unveil that plaque that Phil was mentioning is one of the reasons she's here. But I think it's really nice to see that she's taken that baton on, and I think it's important.
And of course, you'll be tuned in, I would imagine, to Goodwood tomorrow, as will you, as will I, as will a lot of us, because we'll all be excited to see how Khadijah Mellah gets on. Her first ride under official rules. Obviously, she won the Magnolia Cup under your auspices a few years ago. Lots of water under the bridge since then. I did threaten to give her a call this morning, if I'm not trying to ramp up too much pressure.
I know she's getting like the Magnolia Cup. There was a lot of media interest around it, and once again that remains. But hopefully she answers. I think she'll be riding out.
You can have a chat. I think she said she might be in the car. There we are. Hello, there she is. You are on the podcast. Good morning, live from York. How are you feeling ahead of tomorrow? I was just making sure I told you that, just in case you dropped any bombs or you needed to slip into a lay-by.
Yeah, no, I'm parked up. We're safe.
Okay, good stuff. How are you feeling? You're smiling. I don't know whether it's a nervous rictus grin or whether you are actually excited.
No, I'm absolutely buzzing. I've been waiting like 2 years for this opportunity, so I am nervous, don't get me wrong, but I am so excited and super grateful for this opportunity.
I've learned a little bit about the journey you've been on. As you say, it's not been a straightforward one. How has working with Eve Johnson-Horton helped and brought you forward?
Massively, I think. Firstly, she's got brilliant horses and a great team around her, and I've learned a lot from Ollie Carmichael and Charlie Bishop and Georgie Doby, like all the other senior jockeys and more experienced riders, and also Eve herself. Like, she's super uplifting and welcoming, and she's been really understanding about nurturing and progressing my riding and making sure that I'm on the right horses and I'm building my confidence at the yard. And she's understood my journey really well, and obviously given me this massive chance. And I think I wish more trainers said yes to outsiders and gave people opportunities like Eve. I'm genuinely so grateful. I can't keep sort of reiterating. I'm so grateful.
But I mean, I know you a little bit, not as well as the man on my right, but one thing I do know is you work bloody hard, and so does she. So it seems to me you're pretty kindred spirits.
I mean, yeah, I think Eve probably doesn't even know the full story. I sort of turned up saying, listen, I've struggled at different racing yards. You know, could I ride out here? And she said, absolutely. Let's see how you go. And obviously, I've transitioned a lot further than charity race riding. Obviously, getting my amateur license meant that, you know, over the last 2 years, I have developed a huge amount and really worked on my riding ability. So she recognised that and obviously rewarded my efforts. And I think, again, I just really wish that the racing industry, and I hope the racing industry takes notes from Eve, because the industry would be a much better place if they were more like her. Oh,
the other thing is, of course, if you give the horse an absolute shocker, you're going to know about it.
Yeah. She is definitely fierce, like I will hear.
Okay, so Uncle Dick won last time. He's a bit of an old favourite. Is he in good form?
He feels well. I've ridden him out every single day this week. I've ridden him out before. He's very much on the bridle. I'm definitely going to have a tough time going down to post. But he's a happy boy. We get on. As long as I stay out of his way, I have to ride him with a lot of respect. That's what I'll say. Like, I need to stay out of his way and let him do his thing.
Okay, and just why? I mean, I'm not sure anyone thought you would slip into the sidings, because you're not that sort of person. And you've done a lot of really important work for the sport since the Magnolia Cup. But why did you want to do it for real? Why did you want to come out and get the licence and give it a proper crack?
Well, I feel like sometimes with racing, but also other sports, bringing diversity in is sometimes seen as a bit tokenistic, and I don't want to be this one-hit wonder. At the end of the day, like, I'm a very competitive person. I love sports. I've always loved sports. I've competed in many different sports, and I don't like just sort of being put in a box where you've done your bit, you've done your charity race, you don't need to do any more. I say when my racing ends, not when other people decide it ends. And I think for the next generation to see me just pack it up and call it a day after one ride, that's not good enough. And I think I have more to offer as an athlete and as a jockey. And I feel like racing wasn't ready or prepared to see me continue my racing journey. But I've had to push for it, and I'm really glad that my hard work is paying off in terms of getting at least one ride this season. I've had my license for over a year and I haven't had any rides. So to me, diversity isn't disposable, and I want to keep pushing to be a good role model for the next generation of jockeys.
Well said. And when you reflect on the last 3 or 4 years and see the students coming through that the Riding a Dream Academy has produced, with the extraordinary assistance of the man on my right and Naomi as well, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm buzzing. I think the racing industry is definitely taking a turn. We're going to have some really exciting stories coming out of the academy. We've already got a handful of riders that are already at racing yards, and I think are going to really shock the industry with their talent. And it's only a matter of time. And I'm, again, for me, riding an amateur race it's a step forwards, and it shows progression. However, I'm just going to be a leg up for hopefully the Siennas and Millers, O'Shanes and Hezekiahs that are going to fly and become hopefully champion jocks and win those Group 1s, and push further than amateur racing. I'm just sort of showing them that there is room to keep going and progress.
All right, you know what you've got to do now, don't you?
We've got to win it!
You got it. And anyone who's watching this on YouTube will see how broad that grin is. Get it done for us.
Say it, sir.
Cheers, Khadijah. Take care.
No worries, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
What a star.
I mean, she's
what a star. You
amazing.
did actually find a complete star.
Yeah, and that was total. Well, it wasn't luck necessarily. The Ebony Horse Club, where Khadijah sort of started her riding journey on, is full of stars, really. So it wasn't luck. We went to a place that I knew was full of.
Yeah, but not everybody has
for
that
sure.
sort of determination.
But there are so many Khadijahs out there that the racing industry need to embrace and give an opportunity to, because they. And I'm not just saying it. And it makes me emotional thinking about it. But she has enhanced my life enormously, and so many other people's lives. The way she speaks is just phenomenal for someone her age. She's dealing with topics that some people shy away from, but she articulates it in such a relatable and human way. And I think people really need to embrace people like Khadijah, people on the academy, and allow people to fly like her. Because when we allow people like that to fly, the industry and our lives
benefits.
are better.
Everyone benefits. I did a Cambridge Chamber of Commerce thing for Francis Stanley with Khadijah, and there was a room full of business people, really, who not many of whom had much of an interest in racing, and she was just kind of, I mean, they were bowling at all sorts of weird and wonderful questions about a whole variety of subjects, and she was just playing them round the square with complete ease.
And I've been on the journey with her from the start, and she has very much done this herself, and I'm very proud of her for that. But I've been to assemblies in sort of schools in London and seen the joy that she brings young people. Now, if you brought Ryan Moore, who is an absolute champion, into those schools, they wouldn't have a clue who he is. She is relatable to so many people, and the racing industry really should play on that, not capitalise in an advantageous way, but really understand that Khadijah connects with people in a way that not many people in our industry do. The other thing I would say is that I've seen some comments in light of the news that she's coming out riding in this race that are just vile, to be honest. Some people in the industry as well, I think they should be ashamed of themselves.
Really? What, the people you know?
Comments under, people who work in yards and things like that. But, and still, despite all she's done, despite what she's done positively, there are still people out there that exist like that.
If you put one of those comments on, just get yourself yourselves tuned in to the first race at Goodwood tomorrow, and you'll see.
And that's the point. Eve wouldn't be putting her up if she wasn't good enough. That is,
no.
and she's worked so hard,
place.
and she deserves everything that comes her way. I'm very proud of her.
I don't want to dwell too much on what has happened here already, so I want to look ahead to today for people coming in, and I'm sure everyone had a good laugh if they drove home last night listening to the podcast. I correctly predicted that we'd get an awful lot wrong, including the victory of Ombudsman. I did, however, tee up the possibility of a Burcastle victory, which did look likely at the 2 polls.
2-1 in running.
What on earth happened yesterday?
But what on earth's happening in
general,
championship races this year?
The season of the wacky races, isn't it?
Just bizarre. I mean, I remember watching it, and there was almost like this sort of wave of silence that was kind of hitting us as we thought that horse might win. In the end, Ombudsman did pick him up, but I found it a very hard race to assess. I find it a weird race to watch because I didn't really know what was going on, and I don't really know what my view is about Ombudsman after it. He's clearly got a very good turn of foot, but it was just a very confusing 3 minutes of sport, basically.
And I don't want to damn him by suggesting that none of the others turned up, but I do wonder the extent to which none of the others turned up. I mean, I didn't think Delacroix was moving with quite the same fluency as he did at Sandown. Thought Cedarfire just ran all right.
Japanese horse was disappointing.
Horse bombed out. Darius went from travelling to nothing very quickly. So,
and I think what happened, the postscript afterwards of Michael Bosland, sort of chaos like the race.
I mean, John Gosden, I don't know whether he was half in jest or half serious when he said it's absolutely unacceptable to have that big gap in the announcement between ladies and gentlemen. There's an objection from the clerk of the scales. The whole place just went whoa, and there was this sort of awful what on earth's happened, and then it's the horse that's finished last. I mean, full marks for drama. Yeah. Possibly not many marks for
a few heart attacks along the way.
How you play an elite sporting occasion.
No, I agree, but it sort of summed up the madness of the race, really, didn't it?
This isn't very nice, is it?
Was it forecast? I don't think it was it?
There's a sort of rather nasty cold drizzle now. The ground's not going to be getting an awful lot quicker, that's for sure. But that'll be music to the ears, I'm sure, of Dave O'Mara with the Strange today. We'll talk about her and the others in the Yorkshire Oaks in a little while. I want to get a bit of a total performance data perspective on yesterday, and with that in mind, we can hear from Adam Mills.
Well, the first point to make about the Juddmonte International this year is the time. 2 minutes, 7 seconds, 0.90. That's slower than City of Troy last year, but I think we can really attribute that to the ground rather than the race itself. If we look at the other times on the day, they were slower than they were a year ago. The last time this race was run on officially good ground was Baid in 2022, and Ombudsman's recorded a time 1.4 seconds quicker than Baid. When we look at the makeup of this race, it's important to focus on Burcastle, who's probably run a career best as the pacemaker. He's as much as 4.4 seconds in front of the rest of the field when they get to the half-mile pole. It's at that point that William Buick reacts, and this is the key point. Ombudsman is the only horse in the field to record an individual furlong at sub 11 seconds, which he does in the 8th furlong. But over each of those final 4 furlongs, he's taking a second or more out of Burcastle as he's closing the gap. Spare a little thought for Delacroix. If you look at the individual sectional times, he's actually faster than Ombudsman in 2 of the final 4 furlongs. But it's in that final furlong that the real difference comes. A difference between them of 0.28 seconds. But Ombudsman has the higher top speed and he has the best run-out speed in the field. What does that tell us? Well, it tells us that Ombudsman is a better stayer at the trip than Delacroix. And as long as there's a true pace, there's no obvious reason to think this form would be reversed in the future.
All right, that was Adam Mills giving his perspective on the Juddmonte International. Now, while that extraordinary announcement about the objection from the clerk of the scales to Mikel Barcelona was happening, we were actually talking. Charlotte was standing right by John Gosden, so you can get his reaction to that as it happened now.
I did say to William, if you'd sat 4 lengths off the pacemaker, you might have won by 10. The thinking was to go an even pace, but then the Japanese jockey was with Rab on the pacemaker, and then the Japanese jockey kept taking back, so the whole field took back and let Rab slip the field. And Rab never hit his horse. I think he just hands and heels, got slaps on his shoulder. But still, at this stage of the race, we passed the 2 marker, and he's still got 6 lengths on them. So when he let him go, he said he absolutely flew. He said, I went from 2nd gear to 5th gear like that, fast. And he's just taken it away from Delacroix, who's finished 2nd in the end, and obviously the pacemaker was a very honourable 3rd. Collected his supplement. Sandown was a muddle because we didn't have pace. Well, who knows? Steele's inquiry.
There is an objection. An objection has been lodged by the clerk of the scales. Further details will follow in a moment.
That doesn't sound very good. Doesn't sound very good at all. I don't know. I did say to William, don't forget to weigh in. He was holding on to everything. What happened in the Eclipse? The Eclipse was a mess because no one really went forward. They all got pulling and messing around on the bend.
To have further details now on the objection. The objection has been lodged by the clerk of the scales to the rider of horse number 5, Gary's. The placings of the first 5 horses are not affected.
To me, it's over-dramatising something that didn't need bloody well over-dramatised. It's rather silly to do that. He only has to say the last horse hasn't weighed in right. Probably found the lead cloth was thrown at the clerk of scales. Anyhow, no, look, he's a very, very good horse. I think if he'd stayed close to his pacemaker, he'd have won a lot easier. The Eclipse we're talking about, yes, as I said, it was a muddling affair. But full marks to Delacroix. He got up on the line and won. But this horse is a superior horse on an evenly run race, that's all. And you can't say they went too fast because, the pacemaker's finished 3rd. He wasn't going too fast. So I have to call Andre now and tell him he frightened the living daylights out of us. We all made a mistake in the Sussex Stakes. Our horse didn't come out of the race right, which was another thing. But I think it's the pacemaker's allowed to go, and the guy sitting second starts taking back, then suddenly you divorce yourself from the pacemaker, and the pacemaker only has to be a half-decent horse. Look at this one, finishing 3rd, and you can't give them that ground. It was a ridiculous amount of ground to give, more than ever happened in the Sussex Stakes today. But look, he's proven that he's a class horse. He blew him away in the end, and he's always done what we hope to do. He's only got 1 block on his copybook, and 2 actually, because first time out he didn't like the soft ground. So we'll see where we go from there. Previous races are the Irish champion and the English champion. I think he's in the arc as well, but he'd need one of those very occasional faster ground arcs, which do happen occasionally.
Do you think he could stay a mile and a half, John?
That's what we were talking to William about. I'm happy at a mile and a quarter. He said he could. I said, don't complicate life. We nearly complicated a race. I did tell him to write it how you find it. Didn't quite mean it like that.
All right, that was John Gosden. Absolutely extraordinary scenes yesterday. What was your other highlight of yesterday before we move on?
The highlight of yes, I thought the Aiken winner was very good.
Yep, good one.
I like that horse, and what was amazing was that the horse was asleep in his box an hour before the race.
He's amazing.
Flat, laid down, fast asleep. He must have a tremendous attitude, that horse. He showed that actually behind us in the final sort of half furlong, fending off Italy. I think he's got a big future, that horse.
Okay, well, I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed Star of Mehmas winning. About the only thing I did get right yesterday for Richard Hughes, who's having an amazing season.
It's phenomenal, yeah, and. I'm really pleased for him. I know some people who have horses with him. He's by all accounts really communicative with them. He understands what level of horse he's got, and now the sort of green shoots are springing from that yard, and all the efforts he's put in are being rewarded.
Should we see just how communicative?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna
picked him up here, and he's not going to answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can.
You need to be an
now.
owner in the yard, I think.
Do you think?
If he answers.
Well, if he knows I was with you,
he doesn't answer to me. So.
He'll be all right.
How are you?
Hi guys, all right?
Tremendous! Congratulations yesterday. That was some ride from your old friend Mr. Ryan Moore.
Yeah, he owed me that. He told me twice when he rode he should have won there, so he got on the line. It was nick of time.
And my God, they went some serious clip. I thought if anything's going 2 lengths faster than Ruby's Prophet, that Irish filly, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, they were flying, and York, it's so flat, they just go that stride quicker, and it's got to collapse sometimes the pace, and he judges to perfection. And
we were just saying, you are having a truly wonderful season. Have there been any sort of slightly pinch me moments, or did you think, yeah, it's all coming together?
I have a good pal of mine, Matty Williams, and he said to me before Newmarket, he said the best 6 weeks of your career is coming up. Don't know how he knew, but he knew.
I hope he's backed them all.
He probably did.
He could feel it coming, and we've a few nice fillies there, and it all happened, which is great.
I've been quite sweet on Saida Darian for the Nunthorpe. I know you have as well. Are you happy with where you are in the gate? Are you happy with her, more importantly?
Yeah, really happy with her. I don't mind in 2 because she's not over big, and I'd rather 2 than probably 10 in the middle getting bounced around a bit. So again, we leave it to Ryan to judge the pace, and she's got a great turn of foot. Fantastic.
And will you win the Louther today?
She's very good. It'll take a very good filly to beat her.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a statement.
Yeah, she's really good. We've a few good fillies this year, and I think she looks the best and certainly the quickest of them.
So we're hoping for a massive run.
Okay, well, you're buoyed by confidence, no doubt. And where is our July Cup heroine going?
Straight to Haydock. And
Awesome.
Looks to be a bit of rain next week. And the softer the better, really. It'll only improve our chances.
All right, well, listen, we were wondering whether we'd get lucky and you'd pick up, and you did, you see. You never let us down.
I was saying how communicative you are with owners and how you wouldn't let us down, and you delivered once again, Hughesy. Thank you.
You don't own it, guys.
Yeah, Ollie says it's only a matter of time.
Go well.
Hughesy, thanks so much.
Well done, guys. Bye.
Cheers, take care. Brilliant.
There's your race car.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. He was confident, wasn't he?
Very confident. He is quite bullish. He's sort of slightly from the Willie Muir.
Oh well,
not quite that extreme, but he does fancy a lot of his. But he's normally right, and he's certainly more right than wrong this year. What is really interesting is that filly in the Louther,
America Queen, in the Louther.
Because I was looking at it, going, the third was rated 52, 54. Obviously, she's won by 10, 12 lengths, so she's obviously very good. But I thought she's going to have to step up even on that.
If she does win, like,
say
she goes and spanks Royal Fixation today, that's like serious form, because
form,
that's just about the best form records. Venetian Sun, obviously, at Newmarket.
Absolutely, and for me, in the paper today, I tipped up Royal Fixation just because of given what Carl says about Venetian Sun, Royal Fixation.
Sorry, in the paper. Is that in your Daily Mirror?
Sorry, yeah.
Daily Mirror column that you.
Am I allowed to plug?
You write every day. No, David Yates will be delighted.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. My point is,
What's your column called? For whom the bell tolls, or something.
Yeah, Bell's Bankers or something. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not really. But anyway, the point I was making is that I actually, on hearing Hughesy there, because I didn't really know what he thought about her, and maybe she was flattered by that, whatever. He's so confident about it. It makes me think that she's probably the bet at the prices. She's second favourite, and he clearly thinks she's a very smart horse.
What about the Yorkshire Oaks?
I mean, a lot depends on whether Estrange runs, obviously, but
I think she will.
I love Estrange. Funnily enough, this time last year, she made her debut at Goodwood on the Sunday after York, and I hosted the show that day.
And Chappers will be telling you that he was the one that told everyone how good she was.
But she bolted up, and I've been really looking forward to seeing her. And then I thought about backing her for the Arc after she came out and bolted up again this year. Last time out was a bit disappointing, but I love that horse. She's obviously very striking. I don't think she'll beat Minnie Hawk on this ground, but I do think there's a massive race in Estrange on soft ground this year.
There aren't many humbling days in the season for Aidan O'Brien, but yesterday was definitely
absolutely. And I saw Ryan coming back in on Italy and Delacroix, and things just did not go their way. I think he was annoyed that Italy didn't go past. Understandably, he's a competitive man, and Delacroix, as we touched on earlier, that was just not his day at the office, was it? So they have an immediate opportunity, as they so often do, to get back in the Group 1 winners' enclosure with a horse who I think has got a lovely attitude. She looks a picture. We were in Ballydoyle a couple of weeks ago. Last week. She looks fantastic, and I love her attitude as well.
Did you have your shirt buttons done up when you went to Ballydoyle?
I did, yeah. I didn't have a tie on, but I made an effort.
Can we briefly talk about yesterday's ITV Racing Opener?
We can do whatever you want.
If you haven't seen it, I would urge you to go back on ITVX or wherever you can consume it to watch it again. It's different.
It is, Matt. So we got an email last week saying we've got a plan to do an opener where Matt Chapman is going to be dressed as a ghost in the back of shot. And
he definitely
of all the emails I've received at ITV, and we've had a few wacky ideas. That was one that made me sort of double take it.
I was watching it last night. I thought somebody'd sprinkle some mushrooms on my curry or something.
Are you into that?
Well, wouldn't be my tipple of choice, but each to their own.
Anyway, so my role was at the end, and I sort of just had to come out of walk up a hill and join the team. I said about 3 words, and then that was the end of the end.
You look like a stalker who just emerged
there was
from the
no
bushes.
Context to it or anything. I just say it was
no
utterly
context.
bizarre.
Ollie Bell. We should start a new account.
There'll be plenty of things to go on there. But Bethan, who put it together, did a good job. She came up with the idea.
It was definitely original.
And actually, the maker, whatever. It's a bit of fun to start off. What's a serious 4 days of racing, but 1 minute television's not going to hurt anyone, is it?
Of course it's not. No, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know you did.
Right, we are going to hear from our friends at Timeform now, and we're going to hear from Kieran Clark.
Day 1 of the Ebor Festival done and dusted. Timeform review for that opening day. Just a few hours ago we saw a really enthralling and eventful Juddmonte International. The French raider obviously going well clear and only worn down by the same owners, Ombudsman, inside the final furlong. He had a Timeform master rating of 130 going into it. He probably hasn't achieved a great deal more than that in winning, but he probably didn't need to, judged on how the others are on. We've got Cedar Fire just running to a similar level to when she destroyed the Middleton here early in the season. We've got the third running about £12 higher than his previous best. So 130 looks about that rating. We'll probably be able to tell more once we have the sectional data in the morning, so it could get a bit higher, but it looks like he's going to stay around that 130 going into the Irish Champion. And then we had a really strong Acomb Stakes. It was duelled as another match between Godolphin and Ballydoyle. It went to Andrew Baldwin instead. The winner was impressive and showed a good attitude, but I was really taken by Italy in the paddock. He's one to really keep on side when he goes over a mile and even further. He's the best looking 2-year-old I've seen for a long, long time. This is a very good horse. He's come from last after missing the break. He's stayed on all the way to the line. He's probably the one I'd really take out today, and I want to keep on side with him for a long while. And a quick word on the Voltigeur. Lambourne looked beforehand as if he would come on for the run. He's now 6-1 for the Ledger. That does look to be a bit of overreaction. Scandinavia now the even money favourite there. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Doncaster and ran a really, really solid race, because he will come on for it today. Karmas will be bang there as well at Doncaster. I think that trip will really suit him. Fascinated St Ledger in prospect next month.
All right, that was Kieran Clark from Time Form. Of course, another big race yesterday, just going back to yesterday once again. The Great Voltigeur Stakes. We mentioned it was a disappointing day for Ballydoyle. I thought Stay True ran very well in that, actually. Lambourne not so well. The winner was Pride of Arras, his first run since being gelded. Ralph Beckett's been talking about him quite a bit on the podcast of late, and we also caught up with him just for a brief snippet yesterday.
I've only really done sort of maintenance stuff with him. I haven't turned the screw with him, slightly because, that seemed to suit him the last time we brought him here, and also because, I wanted him to run well more than anything else, and really we came with no expectation. I think the track suits him really well. I think the flat nature of York suits him really well. I wasn't at all happy with how he moved through the first half mile on the Curragh, which isn't exactly undulating anyway. He just wasn't enjoying himself that day any more than he was at Epsom. So, I think this place suits him, which sort of gives us a steer. We'll probably end up having to travel him, but I wouldn't be adverse to that. I think he's a different horse now, you can see that today. He's never been difficult at home, but it's not just the gelding either. He suffers respiratory issues as well. That hasn't helped, and certainly wasn't helping in the spring. These things are never one specific thing. There's always layers of them on. I mean, I would be tempted to think about California and Hong Kong for him. I think the nature of those races will suit him really well.
All right, well, Ollie and I have come right up to the top of the new weighing room here. Richard and Gemma are here from Cryer and Stott, the cheesemongers. They brought us some magnificent looking cheeses. Neil Phillips, of course, is doing the honours with the wine. Never too early. Ollie, what do you think of it all?
It looks fantastic, and the cheese looks incredible. I must confess to not really being a cheese man, but I'm sure this is delicious. I always watch these things and think, does anyone do a live, honest reaction? So I'm so sorry. I'm sure it's amazing.
It sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
Thanks, so.
No, I'm sure it's lovely.
Gemma, just explain a little bit about what we've got here today.
So we have 3 different cheeses that we've brought today. We've brought the Ribblesdale Floral, we've brought the Duke of Wellington Blue, and we've brought the Silkstone Seam. And Richard's going to talk you through those cheeses.
Wow, that looks amazing.
So we'll taste the floral. This is a goat's cheese. It's marinated in honey and then wrapped in summer flowers. So very seasonal.
I'm very happy.
Fantastic with the white that we've chosen.
A bit of white wine.
Neil, are you trying it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to. Yeah, I've tried one.
There we are, Neil.
Thank you.
Nice.
And we're going to try this with the Albarino, Nick.
Okay.
From Galicia, northwest Spain.
From where?
Thank you.
Northwest Spain.
Northwest Spain.
So you should pick up the citrus of the goat's cheese, and there's a bit of apple flavour in the wine as well.
Delicious.
Getting that?
Yes, delicious.
How are we doing, Ollie?
I'm loving it. Can I have some of this?
There's a glass there for you.
No, sorry. Whoa.
What do you think, Nick?
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
So what we've got?
It does go nicely with the wine too.
That's the other thing.
You're right there, right?
Yeah. It's so nice. Those goats are incredible.
What have we got here, Richard?
So this one is it's a play on Providence where we're based.
Oh, right.
It's called Silkstone Seam.
Yeah.
And the village where we're based is steeped in the coal industry.
Right.
And
So whereabouts is it exactly?
Ollerton Bywater, just outside Castleford.
Okay.
So we've taken the name of the main seam that was in operation right the way up until the 90s. So to replicate
Ponty's your race course, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. 5 minutes down the road from Ponty. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, you can't beat it. So,
but you're definitely Cas Vegas and not Ponte Carlo, right?
Definitely Cas Vegas, yeah. Gemma's more Ponte
Carlo, yes.
So taste this one. So it's replicating the coal down the centre. And it's an edible charcoal.
So it's an 18-month mature cheddar that we're tasting.
That's charcoal in the middle.
It is, yeah. See if we can convert you.
That's amazing.
Let's try that one, Richard, as well, because I didn't.
Is it?
This is the one I haven't tasted yet. So we're going to have this one with the red. We're also going to have the next with the red as well, aren't we?
You'll enjoy that.
Okay.
So,
I'd like to taste it for the reaction.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Cheers. It looks delicious.
Right. And we do this with the red, do we, Richard?
Yeah.
With the red.
Yeah, we've got a Rioja here, Nick. 100% Tempranillo. Not too heavy.
All right, so that's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
It's got a really...
Is it a cheddar?
Ollie.
You should have just led with that. If I can deal with cheddar.
You're making progress.
I like the floral.
Thank you
with
very
the
much.
Barbarino, actually.
Yeah.
And what have we got next?
This is a blue.
Yeah, this is the date. Now we're in the real danger zone here, unfortunately.
We picked up there.
Yeah.
I feel like this is
Ollie's
Ollie's
fond of a bit of blue, aren't you, Ollie?
So the Duke of Wellington blue was created for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and in 2014, and it went on to win gold at the World Cheese Awards.
This did?
Yeah, in San
Congratulations.
Sebastian.
Thank you.
In 2016.
And we actually presented this to the Queen in 2014 at the British Embassy in Paris. So
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, she had it on 4 occasions that week.
Really?
Yeah, we sent it from, we were in France and we had to send it for Trooping Over the Colours on the Saturdays because she loved the cheese.
So this was the world's best cheese?
Yes.
So that whole thing about how she only liked bland flavours is clearly rubbish because there's nothing bland about that.
There's nothing
Have
at
you
all.
tried it?
It's absolutely delicious.
It is. I tell you what, Nick, try with the Rioja.
I do love blue cheese.
And it just, with the...
I think this is a
Rioja,
great pairing.
It's fantastic pairing. It just marries really well together.
How's the cheese, Ollie?
That is absolutely extraordinary. I hate blue cheese. Sorry, I'm sure it is to anyone who has a
Gemma, I love
slightly
it.
more
I really
extravagant
do.
palate than me. I'm sorry for that is lovely.
I can't thank you guys enough today for doing this. Not only does it look beautiful, it tastes great as well. I don't think I've ever seen you so discombobulated.
I always watch like MasterChef and think, does anyone ever be honest? And I'm trying my hardest not to be, but it's lovely.
I try not to watch that anymore. Rich and Gemma, thank you so much. Neil, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ollie, your best bet of the day is?
I like the Queen sauce, actually. You were speaking about the Queen there. I think Rainbow's Edge will give Her Majesty the Queen a winner here. Good run last time at York in the listed race behind Sans Gazelle, and I think we might have a royal winner this afternoon.
Do you think you'll be interviewing her again?
I think Francesca might get it.
I thought she might. Right, that's all from us for today. That was Thursday, August the 21st. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow. You've been listening to Nick Luck Daily. This episode has been brought to you in association with Timeform, your trusted source for racing data and analysis, by Total Performance Data, the world leader in thoroughbred performance technology, and by FitzDares.